In our first half hour, we introduced you to the Zimbabwe nonprofit Painted Dog Research. They work to train the next generation of conservationists to save wild painted dogs in Africa. Since 2018, PDR has also partnered with Niabi Zoo in Cole Valley. So we have Niabi's Joel Vanderbush and Painted Dog Research's Dr. Greg Rasmussen back on the current. Thank you both so much for being here once again.
Of course.
Dr. Rasmussen, I want to start with you. What are some misconceptions about wild painted dogs, or something you want people to know about them?
Well, painted dogs were conceived as ruthless cattle killers and they were slaughtered as such. And that wasn't true. They actually were responsible for, in the rancher's case, 1.7% of their losses. And plastic bags killed 17% of their cattle, cattle swallowing. So that was one misconception. The thing I really love about them is their social system. And just to share a very quick story, when I first started working with the dogs, one dog was mauled by a lion, and we gave him up for dead. And I came back the next morning, and the body was gone, dragged away, and I thought it had been dragged away by predators. And then when I caught up with the pack, and this dog's a dog called Circus, which is actually about the book. This is the real dog. It kept disappearing somewhere every other day. And I'm like, where's he going? So we tracked about 8 miles, and we got to a point where Circus was going back to his brother every single day to lick and clean his wounds. He did that for 3 months. He would travel 8 or 10, 12, 14 miles every day to go and look after his brother. That was 38 years ago. That was the first time ever any wild species looking after their sick and the weak. No wonder I'm a committed conservationist.
Because you've just seen stories like that over
I see things like that, I was just like, wow.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And we have painted dogs right here in our area.
We do.
They came to Niabi a few years ago. I remember being out there when you guys were building the enclosure for them. What are their names? And Joel, what's it like to have them at Niabi?
Well, we have Prospect and Salou. We just have a pair right now. But, you know, the amazing thing with them is the story that they tell, right? Because we have a lot of really great educational graphics that, you know, tell the story of our relationship, the partnership, the work that they're doing as far as the threats, as well as the solutions to try to help, you know, evade those threats and make things really go well. The story that the dogs themselves tell, just their playful nature. We now have a zip line, not that they themselves ride in, but it's technically like a meat zip line, so we can hang like a carcass. But and that was something that Dr. Greg had designed for other zoos and showed us how to do it. But basically, they can pull like on a piece of fire hose to pull the cable down, so another one can actually get to the meat. So it's teamwork. They have to work together in order to do it, and that's one of those things where, you know, the relationships between these animals and the social structure and the camaraderie and the companionship and all of the things that go along with it and their family structure, all of that is something that we can learn from.
Seriously.
Yeah, and that's exciting.
And it speaks also to your guys' partnership and the way that you have both worked together to help painted dogs.
And we're a team.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that brings us to this Thursday. You were having a doggone trivia night out at Niabi Zoo. What's going to be going on?
Well, you know, the thing is, we here in the Quad Cities, we love a good trivia night.
We do love a
We
good
do,
trivia
and I was like, geez, this is just another doggone trivia night. And I'm like, actually. So Greg will be doing a little presentation in the beginning about the work that he does, of course. So to make sure everybody is understanding, it is not trivia about painted dogs.
Okay.
Right? So it is a generalized trivia. It's a really good trivia night with a lot of variety of topics. But if you listen very carefully to Dr. Greg's talk, you will get some answers to some bonus questions to get extra points.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So no, that's
Giving
going to be
away
very exciting. But of course, as we see on this table right here, we'll have some merchandise available too. So the snare wire arts that we have seen before, we have some new poses for our painted dogs, and the book, which Dr. Greg wrote, A Dog Called Circus, just like the dog he was talking about. And in that book, it's really focused on children, and there's wonderful art in there by an artist named Jeff Wells out of Florida.
Wow.
And the wonderful thing with that is the sales of those books, 100% of the proceeds go back to the children's bush camp there in Zimbabwe. And that's really why we have these things, is to turn it right back over and be able to give it right back to the work that's being done to sports conservation.
Seriously, and I think it's so important to point out this is local work being done by people who live there, who grew up there.
Yeah.
This is their whole life. And I want to have you back on soon, Joel, to talk about opening day at Niabi's coming up
yeah.
in April. They've got a brand new exhibit about the painted dogs. But in the few seconds we have left, Dr. Asmussen, I wanted to end with you. We've talked about the work that you've done so far in Zimbabwe over 30 plus years. What's your goal for the next 5, 10 years for painted
My
dog
goal
research?
is to set up scholarships for women in conservation. I've got a young lady that I've supported for 13 years, who's now completed her master's. She's a leading speaker at conferences and workshops. She's from the rural village where we live. And then that's what we want to do, is get scholarships for young women like that to go forward, because obviously in the rural areas, women are denied an education in northwest Zimbabwe, and it's very common in many parts of the third world. So empower women. We need more women in conservation.
And there's a great avenue also to do that. Even on the Painted Dog Research donate page, you can choose what you want your gift to go to, and scholarships are one of those things. Because that bush camp actually chooses students that are the top ones of that bush camp, so that every 6 months they run a special bush camp for the top students who then choose scholarship recipients from that bush camp. So we've created this avenue to do exactly that. So it's pretty great.
You guys, your work is incredible. Thank you so much for your time today and dropping by. Thursday's going to be an amazing turnout at Niabi.
Absolutely. We want lots of women to come.
And there are still some seats available, and we are advising people, if they have a team of 6, a pack, that would be the best, because they can also get a discount, but then you have your whole team ready to back you up.
And ready to win.
Indeed.
Guys, thank you
All right.
both so much for coming by today.
Listen
I
very
really appreciate
carefully.
it.
I will say this only once.
That's right.
And for you guys at home, if you want to share this story, our online version is up at WQAD.com. Just click on the As Seen on TV tab at the top of the homepage.